hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
And here we go. Line brawl to start this game.
Jeremy Leblotsky and John Morasky teeing off on one another.
Tom Borowski is just pounding away at Robinson. We said Tom Borowski, this is the guy who set a Western Hockey League record for 505 penalty minutes. Let's call it like it is. Tom Borowski's a goon.
Getting closer. He reaches in a right river. He's not Scott Grimson. He's just one. Stu Grimson. Oh my goodness. Scott Parker with a KO of Stu Grimson.
Folks, this is one of the best hockey fights we have seen in a long time.
Finnenbush tells the linesman, get the heck out of my kitchen.
Ray Dixon, he absolutely decked Jim Kite with a wild right.
A sheer stagger by a big left hand by Wade Belak.
Chris Nyland on a penalty shot. Scores!
Bugard down the wing. Bugard bombs away. Score!
Number 47 for Boston. Both guys, 5 minutes each for fighting.
This should be good. This should be very good.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 62 of the Five for Fighting podcast. My name is Alec, your host, and this is the show where we focus on the players who drop the gloves and the fans who enjoyed watching them do it. We got a little bit of a different pace for the episode today. I'm up here live, well, not live, but up here in person with Jay out in Iowa. He's been on the guest on the Fourth Line Voice. I've talked to them for years now at this point. We will be going over the top 10 Mallards tough guys, not exactly enforcers, just tough guys in general. And I think it's going to be a great time. We got bellies full of steak, so he was a very nice host. He wine and dined me. I got him all liquored up, so who knows where the night will take us at this point. But nonetheless, we will make it happen. Jay, how you doing tonight?
Alec, I'm doing great. I appreciate the hell out of you coming up here, man. You brought me a wonderful bottle of alcohol. I don't know if my pants coming off were part of that plan, but I guess we'll see what the night holds.
There you go. Yeah, he's got his drinking horn out. It's literally like a Viking horn drinking out of it. And I apologize for audio quality here. I'm sure it's going to sound fine, but I don't have the usual pop filter or whatever. So I'm just kind of holding the mic going back and forth, but I think we'll be all right. Before we get going, I'm not going to do any, we're going to record this episode, and I'm not going to go over an intro or anything like that. We're just going to leave it as is. So got to give a shout out to the usual suspects. First and foremost, the Five for Fighting is now proudly presented by Six Pack Coverage, who is a brand new media company starting out of Nashville. I took a picture for them, sent it to them, on our drive up here to Iowa. We got to go through Nashville, saying, beers are on me next time, boys. So hopefully we can finally link up and actually meet the folks who were kind enough to sign the podcast on, and maybe I should say crazy enough to sign the actual podcast on. But nonetheless, we made it happen. So I encourage you to go check out their website. You can go to just sixpackcoverage.com and go through. They have a show for all sports, not just hockey. They got, baseball, basketball, football, college football, plenty to go there. So if you're looking to get your fix for other sports, I encourage you to go over to that website. And we will, I don't know if we're allowed to mention his name in this household, but Darren over at Fourth Line Voice, he had me and Jay on at one point. I don't know if he was just trying to sink his ratings at that, or if he was just hurting for guests that bad where he needed us. So
He was, when it comes to the point when you reach bottom and you have to bring out the heavy equipment to keep digging and digging and digging, and then 30 or 40 feet down, we're up there waving. It might be time to hang up the headphones.
Yeah, so I know I was kind of bragging to him. We were talking today. I said, the weather out in Florida is like 87 right now. Meanwhile, he's dealing with like minus 30 in snow. So, and we don't have any snow up here in Iowa either.
No, we don't want snow up here. Keep that. I know you would like a little cooler temperatures down here. Gonna be 60 here, I think tomorrow or Friday. I'm happy you brought that up with you, but keep that white stuff out of the forecast.
So, Darren, we're thinking of you, and I'll be thinking about you next week when I'm sipping a pina colada beachside in Fort Myers again once I get back down there. And of course, we can't forget Joe Lazito over at the Coliseum Chronicles, the penalty box. Well, I don't even know if I mentioned it before with Darren, but Darren was the original Enforcer podcast. Sorry to get sidetracked here. He's just wasting. We're a few beers deep, We got liquor going, so it's fun for the whole family. But Darren was the original Enforcer podcast. He's got a tremendous back catalog. I know he just had William Chipaway, who runs the Hockey Fights and Brawls page on. He just had Chris on, who was a bouncer up in Buffalo, and he's got some great stories, from Sabres tough guys. And I know he is a big fight fan. He does great write-ups on the Enforcer Appreciation site. But nonetheless, Darren has, tremendous back catalog. He's got John Morasti, Steve McIntyre, Dan Kopech, Joey Teterenko, the list goes on. And then Joe on the other side with the Islanders Enforcers. As you can tell by the name Coliseum Chronicles, he's got a tremendous back catalog. Got like a 5-part saga with Trevor Gillies. He's had on Mike McWilliam, Kerry Clark. Great back catalog from both guys. So I encourage everybody to go check those out. But with getting those asshole shout outs out of the way, we will get into the meat and potatoes of the episode here, which is Mallards, tough guys. We're talking the Quad City Mallards. And Jay, how long have you been a Mallards fan for?
Well, my first season of being a fan was the first season the Mallards came in, 95, 96, I want to say. Probably could have looked that up. I apologize. First season, I kind of went here and there to games. Second season, I had season tickets, and I was pretty much hooked from there. Started out in the old Colonial League, and then I went to the United League, and there was not, for my money, there was not a better league to watch hockey than the old United League. Every team had 2 or 3 tough guys, legit heavies. Every team had 2 or 3 guys that could put, 70, 80, 90 points on the board, and there was always some kind of crazy shit going on behind the play.
No, for sure. And, the Mallards, I think of course, it's the Quad City Storm now. They played their last game it was the ECHL. A few years back. I think it was probably 2016. Does that sound about right?
This is the 3rd year of the Storm. So counting the COVID off year, 4 years ago, the Mallards played their last game. Yeah. And the league holds the naming rights to the Mallards, which is why they chose a new name for the Southern League team. But it was a hell of a ride when they had the team here.
Yeah, it's funny because, they've got not only a rich history of toughness, but they lasted a long time. For a minor pro team to last that long, especially because they went from the Colonial League to the United League, and then after that it was the IHL. And then after that they were in the CHL for a quick second, and then it went to the ECHL. So to last that long, it's almost like they're giving the Norfolk Admirals a run for their money, because Norfolk has been around for quite a while too. But they've had plenty of toughness to ground. Even with the Storm, they still have a decent amount of chippiness. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're not. And that's why I like the Southern League nowadays. I know you're a big ECHL guy now. Jumping on that bandwagon real hard when you're down there. But the Southern League, as far as I know, they're the only aside from the NHL, they're the only professional league that doesn't have a fight limit. As you and I have discussed, there's not even a misconduct penalty for instigator anymore. I want to say that it's a 3-fight in your out rule, as opposed to most leagues have a 2-fight in your out rule. But it's a hell of a league. I love it. It's as close as you're going to get in nowadays hockey to the old United League. I know it's still a stretch to say, but it's as close as you're going to get to that style of play in 2021.
No, for sure. And I think, if you look at all the leagues now, once you get to the ECHL is when it starts to get there. But then, of course, they got the 10-fight rule and all that bullshit. And they've got certain rules when it comes to, like, being the aggressor and the instigator. I've looked it up, and I kind of can't think of it off the top of my head. But they've got a bunch of different rules for fighting. I know you're not even allowed to, like, remove your elbow pads. That's an extra 2, I think. But I know you said if in the ECHL, is there a tilt going? Oh, hold on. We got a fight going. We got how is it thrower?
24 and 15.
I'm not sure. That might be
How, I think.
24 is how. Oh shit!
Oh,
he just dropped the hell out of him. So we got the Atlanta Gladiators and the Jacksonville Icemen on in the background. You know How's about to be fired up, doing the hand wipe. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it.
Shoulder pad hanging out the jersey.
Only here on the Fight for Fighting podcast will we just fucking stop everything mid-interview for a hockey fight. You love to see it. Tremendous. I think that might have been no guard. I'm not too familiar. Also, and then with the Jacksonville Icemen, the Flights for Fights winner. So the Jacksonville
there's a brewing company that gives away a prize when there's a fight.
The Jacksonville Icemen will give away a prize to a certain section in a row if there's a fight during the game, which is just tremendous. That is peak minor pro hockey.
Come on, we got to give Wicked Barley Brewing Company a shout out.
Yeah, Wicked Barley.
Just for that promotion, you're fantastic.
whoever that is. That was the whole reason we didn't mute it. We were like, should we mute it? I said, maybe there'll be a fight. And that's why we were talking about earlier. We said we should watch Travis Howe. He's had a great rivalry with Newber, and I know he hasn't had a fight in a minute. And Atlanta's got the two Thrower brothers, Josh Thrower, who hasn't had a fight. We're hoping for a replay. If not, you'll definitely be able to not find it on my YouTube channel because I definitely don't post ECHL fights because why would I ever do that? But it seemed to be a good fight. It looked like Howe definitely got the best of him. I think it might have been no guard he went with. So that was pretty solid though.
I'm not. Here we go. Maybe a replay, maybe some cheesy minor league hockey graphics you do not get in the AHL or the NHL.
Telling everybody to get loud. I don't think we'll get a replay here, unfortunately. But like I said, by the time this is over and this episode's out, the fight will already be up on my YouTube channel.
Where's number 15?
Oh, Michael Turner. Yeah, it was 15.
Yep. Michael Turner weighing in at 6'3", 215. Big boy.
Big boy, but Travis Howe good. Travis Howe definitely got him. So, there we go. You'll love to see it. Nice little live fight commentary over here. So, we had the game on. It was the only game in the ECHL, and that's why I chose to come over here on this night. I was like, we'll throw the game on, see what happens. And Atlanta's a decently tough team, and so is Jacksonville. And sure as shit, we got ourselves a nice little fight going here. So, that was enjoyable to see. We'll see if we get any more action later because I know Jacksonville has Friend on the team, and then the Gladiators have, like I said, both the Thrower brothers, and then also No Guard, who is all three of those guys will go. But I kind of forget where we were at this point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, squirrel. So anyways, I guess we'll just get into the episode here, and we'll get into the meat and potatoes as you just heard our lovely fight banter back and forth while one was going on. But like I said, you'll be able to check that out later on my YouTube channel, or not check it out because we definitely don't post ECHL fights.
No, and I did not have at least a dozen removed from my YouTube channel when the Mallards were in the ECHL. Thank you, East Coast Hockey League. I really appreciate the 60 or 90 day YouTube jail that I was put in. Thanks to you.
Thanks a lot, YouTube. I'm waiting for my fucking channel to get removed or get put into the YouTube jail or whatever. Even the NHL trademarked like one of my Chris Nyland videos from the 80s. I was like, oh yeah, thanks. I think it's the one where he's talking about fighting O'Reilly and Jonathan.
Well, you are making tens of thousands of dollars on a YouTube video that gets 5, 6, 7,000 views.
Actually, well, the Nyland one before, because it got taken down for some reason, I forget why, but before it got taken, it was like 26,000 or 27,000 views. Fancy. I know, but besides that, all the tens and tens and tens of folks that watch my channel.
It must be nice to have like fourth line voice subscriber numbers. My 164 subscribers or whatever get my SPHL content right away.
And folks, listen, I encourage you, if you go over to Fourth Line Voices YouTube and you see a video that's really grainy or the fight is really short, he loves when you complain about the quality of the video or as to why he'd even post that fight. Please go do that. He loves the suggestion box in that, and I encourage you to go spew all over his YouTube channel.
Well, he likes the fan interaction.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless of if it's on YouTube, or you can email him at hockeyfights@hotmail.com. Because Fourth Line Voice is very, very old, and he actually has a Hotmail account because he still logs on with his 56K modem. It sounds like a robot being attacked.
I'm surprised he doesn't have like an old Angel Fire website up from back in the day. Now I'm dating myself with that because I don't even think, if you're a younger listener, you probably don't even know what the hell a fucking Angel Fire website is. I'm only 25.
Geocities.com/Fourth Line Voice. You can check out all his content.
Oh shit. Well, enough. We've sponsored him enough. That motherfucker. We'll wait for our checks in the mail for this holiday. You better be a Jelly of the Month Club subscription. So we'll get into the episode here. Like I said, Quad City has a very rich history of tough guys, and so this will be covering their entire existence. It's not like these are just Colonial guys or UHL guys. It'll all be throughout the entire league. So the Colonial League, the UHL, IHL, CHL, ECHL. Jay was kind enough to go grab a refill on some brewskis for his. He's got to fill his horn up.
I'm not entirely sure like the suggestive connotation to that, but I'm not sure I didn't like it.
Exactly. So we'll start it off here. Number 10, for the Quad City Mallards all-time tough guy list. Who do we have at number 10?
Number 10, I have to go with the guy. He spent 3 years with the Mallards, all in the Central League. His name was Jason Costadine. He was a guy, he would fight anyone. He was a little undersized, kind of had a couple screws loose. He would run his mouth all the time. Go out there, throw a hit here, there, big body checks, and he was greasy as shit. He put up pretty solid PIM numbers. In 3 years? About 450 PIMs. I remember a night Wichita was here, and at the end of the game, Costadine was running his mouth. Mallards won, beat the old Wichita Thunder, and Lizon jumped off the bench and went after him at the end of the game. Caused a big to do, but he was entertaining as hell. And I remember there was an intro video where he would take his nose and push it all the way to the side of his face.
Oh, shit.
I will never forget that. And he played, the last 3 years of his career, hung him up here in Quad City, lived here for a little while, but he was entertaining as hell.
Some of these guys, I might know them, I might not. Of course, people who listen to the podcast will know I'm a Quad City Mallards fan. It's the team that got me into hockey, but I moved away when I was about 2 years old down to Florida, and I would go back every other winter. Yeah, every other winter. I'd go there every summer, but every other winter I'd go back. So that's when we catch games. And some of these guys I might be familiar with, some I might not be. But putting the nose all the way to to the side of his face for an intro video, just tremendous. It's peak minor pro hockey. I don't think you can get any better than that.
No, you're not seeing that when Sidney Crosby gets introduced, or that's the name that comes to me. Modern hockey.
Yeah.
I don't watch the NHL. That's your show.
No. I told you I went to one fucking game. It was the home opener, and when they were down like 6-1 or 5-1, and there wasn't even a scrum the entire game versus the Penguins, I said that's it. I'm done. I am done with it.
Well, you do realize that whenever you text me or call me, Sidney Crosby's face pops up.
Does it really?
Yes.
You motherfucker. I mean, you'd probably prefer Sidney Crosby's mug over mine anyhow, but. Oh shit! Getting after it. That is fucking terrible. And yeah, there it is, a Sidney Crosby picture for whenever I call Jay or text him. Well, terrible.
That's who I associate with. You're a different generation than I am, and that's who I associate you with. You even kind of look the same, except your facial hair is a little more full.
I like to think I got. It's funny. I was like, for the longest time when I was in the Marines. So even though, you're supposed to shave every day, I can get away without shaving for like 3 days. When I was like 18 and 19, I could not grow a beard to save my life, and then finally able to do it. So that's great. I probably look so beautiful. Great. When we got Yuka over here on Twitter, the guy's supposedly on his second honeymoon. Good Lord. Jay, I know you're listening out in Finland, you motherfucker, but anyways, moving on. Number 9, who do you got?
Number 9, I got a guy named Dave Stewart. He played 1 year for the Mallards in the United League. And this was a guy, he was a little undersized, but he would fight absolutely anybody. They have him listed on HockeyDB as 5'11". He wasn't 5'11" on skates. He was a generous 5'8", I would say. Like I said, he'd fight anybody. The next year, the year after he was with the Mallards, he played for Missouri and Flint. Fought Cody Doucette, fought the Hammer Tremblay. He would fight fucking everybody. But his claim to fame was he is the one fight that Chris Chelios had in the UHL.
Oh, so when he was with Motor City?
Yes, sir. And which the fight is actually up on my YouTube channel. If you search, Chris Chelios, Dave Stewart, you'll see it.
Is that when they had like the 10-year anniversary jerseys?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
I know exactly what fight you're talking about.
Those like gradient gray to blue Pro-Joy jerseys. Have one of those hanging up in the closet downstairs. What's funny is the night before that trip, we went to Motor City, and then they played in Kalamazoo the next night. I felt like utter dog shit. Went to the doctor. Doctor gave me like 2 or 3 different kinds of prescriptions. He said, take these. I said, well, I'm going out of town. Can I take these with alcohol? He said, you probably shouldn't, but go ahead. Excuse me. Well, across the street from where Motor City played was an Italian restaurant, and they had 1-liter mugs of beer. So there was 4 of us. I had 4, 5, 6 of those. We go to
4,
the
5, 6, 7. You know, what are those numbers?
a number less than 8.
Yeah.
So we go to the game, and I'm loopy on cold meds, and I pounded the beers to the Italian restaurant. So the video is grainy as shit, but at least it's on YouTube of Chris Chelios fighting Dave Stewart.
So there you go. Dave Stewart fighting Chris Chelios. Well, I got to ask, though, because I've heard, very mixed reviews on the place. How was it actually watching the game up in Motor City?
I went there a few times.
They called it the garage, right?
The garage.
Yeah.
They had, basically, when they introduced the players, they rolled out a garage door, just a bare frame.
Oh, that's right. You can see it in the mic'd up video with Jason Ralph.
And that fucking video.
That's one of the best videos online.
So it's just 3 sides and wheels, and they rolled the fucking garage door, and the players skated out. But it was maybe 2,500, 3,000 fans, and then there was just like 5, 6, maybe 12 rows of seats, and then a concourse, and then they put like 3 rows of bleachers up on the concourse. Anyway, it was a hell of a place to watch a game. It was peak UHL. Mm-hmm. Where you watch a game for $10, you see some scraps, you drink your $3 beer, have your $2 hot dog, see fucking Darian Hatcher fall on his ass coming across the boards. But yeah, it was entertaining as hell.
Did you get to see Sean Avery at all too?
Sean Avery was suspended that game.
Oh, what did he get suspended for?
I honestly don't remember. I'm assuming running his mouth.
Probably.
But he was signing autographs. What's funny, so a friend of mine was waiting to get his autograph, and she said she was behind these 2 girls, and they were talking, oh, this CN Avery guy, he plays in the NHL, this CN guy, he's so hot, but he's not playing tonight. And I was so excited to watch him play, because I thought, maybe Dave Stewart and Avery they're about the same size, they run their mouths a lot, might be kind of fun. But fucker went and got suspended. But they had Chelios, they had Hatcher, and I thought they Brian Smolinski. They had Smolinski at that time too. But yeah, it was, as you said, the mic'd up Jason Ralph. Oh, that's comedy right there.
Well, did they have the mascot there too at the time? That where I don't even know what the fuck the thing was. It looked like almost like a Youpie from the Canadians.
Yeah, it was like a mishmash of 5 different mascots. But they threw him mechanics overalls.
Yeah, they threw like coveralls on.
Yeah, and there's grease stains on them and stuff. That's good enough. We found this mascot head down in the basement of this. It's basically like a rec league rink because there was 3 or 4 other rinks. They found the head, who knows where, buried in the locker room. Throw a head on there, throw some bibs on him, you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because I remember in the mic'd up video, I remember Ralph was pissed on the pregame. He was like, "Oh, now they got a fucking production and a mascot. Like, what the fuck is this?" And, just Jason Ralph in that video is tremendous, and I really wish, and I hope to God he comes on either my show or Darren's. I think I've asked him, and I think Darren has asked him, but we've tried to get fucking Willis on.
Oh my God, Tyler Willis, that's a dude who, again, that's peak UHL. I know he spent some time in the AHL, but he was the captain of Kalamazoo for years. He was a guy, he'd play every shift, he'd play power play, he'd play penalty kill, and he'd go out there and he would, motherfuck anybody, slash, hack, butt end, spear, and for a little dude, he could throw.
Oh yeah,
he would go with anybody.
Willing. He was definitely willing. Yeah, well, funny now you mentioned it. Kalamazoo. That's another team that's been around the block for quite a while now too. But so number 8. What are we got? Number 8, right? Number 8. So who we got for number 8? Oh, I think I might be cheating. Well, by the way, folks, I like to tell you, this is one of the most prepared guests I've ever seen. He's got his notes. He's got fucking stats out for every guy. Of when he played, how long he's played, and he's got his own little Gmail list going on over there. So this is fucking professional over here if I've ever seen it.
Well, you know what? I don't have these fancy note apps that you kids have nowadays, so basically I have to email everything to myself because that's how old fucks do it. But number 8 is a guy you're familiar with, a guy who's actually still playing the game today. A new age guy was Anthony Collins.
Yep.
I think he is with Norfolk now, the Admirals.
Yep.
He played for the Mallards for 2 years. Part of 1 year, part of another year. Huge guy, and when he'd throw from 3 area codes away.
Yeah,
he threw with some fucking legit anger, and he would fight anybody. He fought Patrick McGrath, who was a guy in the ECHL for a long time. I don't know if he's still in the league now or not. He might be in the A, might be retired, hung him up. Fought a guy named Jack Nevins, who was incredibly tough. Fought Garrett Hunt. That fight's on my YouTube channel. I may have had a couple beverages beforehand, so the first 5 seconds might be out of focus. But he was, a monster kid, even though he only played, give or take, about 80 games here. Still put up pretty decent PIM numbers, and he could put the puck in the net, every now and then too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Anthony Collins is definitely a tough dude, and he just he fought actually Newber in the last series with the Everblades. They had three game stint, and the Everblades were up, and so Newber obliged Anthony Collins, and they had a tilt. And I mean, it was nothing to write home about, but it was a pretty solid. I know Collins at the beginning of the year, I forget who the fuck they were playing, but he laid an uppercut on a dude, just buckled him. He folded the kid like a cheap tent, and the dude was holding his face afterwards. Pretty sure he broke his face and his orbital bone or his jaw or something, because the uppercut, I have not seen an uppercut that good in a hockey fight in quite a long time, actually.
And you don't see that much nowadays anymore.
No.
And if you want to see that fight, absolutely do not go into YouTube. Do not go on to the Five for Fighting YouTube channel.
Well, actually, I'll take that. It's not on my channel because it was before I got the package and whatever.
So you can't go back.
I can go back and find it. I definitely can't go back and find it and upload it to YouTube.
I could have sworn it was definitely not on your YouTube channel.
No, it's if you look it up on Twitter. If you look up Anthony Collins on Twitter, I think you'll be able to. But I'll go back and I'll find the fight of when it was posted or whatever, and I'll have it uploaded there tonight.
Yeah, he dropped that dude like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, they start getting together, and he lays an uppercut on him, and then 2 more shots, and the dude was just there was not a chance he was getting up from it. So Anthony Collins definitely still a bad dude for sure, and I'm trying to think if he got into another fight against some dude in Orlando, just beat the doors off of him too at center ice. I think it was in Orlando at that, so that's really fun to see. It's like seeing your little kid get beat up or something out there. But yeah, Anthony Collins, I'm definitely down with him. So number 7, who we got?
Number 7, we have a former fourth line voice guest, Les Borsheim.
There you go.
Les only played a year here in Quad City, but dude was strong as an ox, and he was genuinely mean out there on the ice. I know he said on Darren's show he didn't care for his time here in Quad City, but we liked him here. Like I said, anytime he threw, he actually wanted to hurt somebody. Guys out there actually seemed genuinely afraid of him on the ice. But what's crazy is that was the same year where, we had the NHL players playing down in the United League. And in Missouri, among other guys, they had Bryce Salvador, who played for the Blues. I wouldn't call him a heavyweight by any means, but he was more than willing to fight. And Borsheim fought him here in Quad City. Again, that video is on my YouTube. I mean, it was, 15 years ago? So the video quality isn't the best, but if you're asking me, maybe there's a little bit of homer there. Borsheim takes it pretty easy, and that's not an easy thing to do against Bryce Salvador.
I forget that because he was there when it was the IHL 2 or whatever, right?
No, that was still the United League.
Oh, was it really?
Yes, sir, in 04-05.
Oh, I'm thinking of Goulet. Goulet was here when it was the. Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
We'll get to him.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll save that for. We'll put that in the back pocket.
Jumping through my notes now. I don't like that.
No, I'm sorry. Well, fuck, didn't you have his green jersey downstairs? Isn't that who's you have?
Nope, that's Jared Kaufman, the goalie. We'll get to that here in a little bit. The incident with Jason Goulet's jersey. We'll get to that here in a little bit.
We'll get to it. So, anyways, definitely down with Les Borsheim. Tough dude, and all the best in him and his recovery. I know he's still doing physical therapy all the time when it was a motorcycle accident, correct?
Yep, motorcycle accident.
Yes, so he's learning how to walk again. So all the best to Les, and hopefully, if by the off chance he's listening to this, hopefully you keep fighting, dude. You're a fucking warrior for sure.
Absolutely, and I know he does his golf tournament, raises money for his treatment. It's a fantastic cause. If you get a chance, just Google, Les Borsheim charity. I'm sure that'll pop up. And I want to say he still does color occasionally for the Colorado Eagles, who were
Really?
Yeah, and I think they're in the AHL now.
Yeah, they are. That's crazy that they're in the AHL. They were a CHL team for the longest time back in the day. Yeah. I forgot about that. Fuck, they had Fraser Flippick back in the day, just dropping dudes.
Greg Pankowitz, who would put up 100 points, 350 PIM a year.
It's fucking nuts. That's like video game numbers.
Oh my God, that's a guy I would love to hear more about. There's no video of him.
Yeah.
But you look at the stats. Yeah, it's fucking NHL 2019 numbers.
Exactly. So what do we got now? Number 6.
Number 6. We're going old school on this one.
There we go.
We're going with Gary Goulash.
There's a name I know.
Gary Goulash played about 3.5 years in Quad City, and you know, he was another guy who was just mean out there. Didn't give a shit. Huge defenseman, but what's crazy is he would actually put up pretty good points too. I mean, 1 year he had 46 PIMs, 46 points, 358 PIMs, 52 points, 311 PIMs, 45 points, 342 PIMs. That's video game numbers too.
Yeah, dude, Goulash was fucking awesome. And I know, I know with recent guest Howie Rosenblatt, they may have had a couple disputes here and there, but from my time watching Goulash is definitely a name I associate with one of the dudes who definitely got me into hockey when I was younger, and I always remember that, and I still have. Of course, you got to remember this is like late 90s, early 2000s when Beanie Babies were still popular. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The Mallards had their own fucking line of like Beanie Babies, and I think it was like the Goulash Gator or something.
Yeah, Gula Gator.
The Gula Gator, and so they made the Goulash one was a fucking alligator. And I still have that somewhere. It's in storage. I think it's in like my parents' storage unit or something like that. But yeah, I still have that. And Goulash is definitely like synonymous with one of the dudes who got me into hockey. And I definitely remember at least seeing him play back in the day in the old Quad City Mallards.
And what's crazy is he's a guy he'd play play regular shift, play a penalty kill. He is like the epitome of what a tough guy is to me. He'd drop in front of a slap shot. Take the slap shot anywhere on his body just to keep it from getting to the net. And he was hugely popular here in Quad City. And, back in the day, there used to be one jersey auction a year. And, 1 year, you couldn't touch a jersey for less than $1,500.
Jesus. And and then what year is that? That's like what?
Goulash was here, so in the...
early 2000s.
In the 98-99 season, they did a Valentine's jersey, like a Broken Hearts jersey.
Oh, shit.
And his Broken Hearts jersey went for, I want to say, $7,100.
Holy shit.
Yes, sir.
Insane. And
$7,100 for a fucking United Hockey League auction jersey. Which, if we go from where I'm sitting right now, it's about 15 feet from where I sit right now. Don't get me wrong. I didn't spend $7,100 on it back in '89 or in '99, but it's sitting in the closet right now.
No, for sure. And by the way, those jerseys were beautiful, tremendous. They got like a silver, it's like, what is it called? Like glitter twill is what they used to call it. I think at least on the old Lightning jerseys, but like glitter hearts in the background with like there's the backdrop on the numbers and.
Yep, I love it. It was a Valentine's jersey. They're usually like pink and white and happy hearts. The Mallards did a Valentine's broken heart jersey, so the jersey's black. They have like dark red trim on it. Yeah, the silver dazzle. The logo's the Mallards head with like a shattered heart behind it. I fucking love that shirt.
It's beautiful, absolutely. So there you go. You got Gary Goulash at number 6. Before we get to number 5. You got to take a leak. All right, well, we'll do it. In the magic of editing, we'll take a quick pause. Jay's got to take a leak, and also we need more beer, too. So give us 1 second. All right, and back through the power of editing, as we got another little beer run and took a quick piss break, we are on to number 5 with Jay and his top 10 Quad City Mallards tough guys. Who do we got at number 5?
Number 5, we have former Five for Fighting podcast guest, the legend, the sheriff, Howie Rosenblatt, one of the toughest guys you'd ever see play in the old United League. He was hurt a couple of years when he was here, but he played here, 3 years total. Had a bunch of call-ups to the AHL when he was here. He got called up. Oh, excuse me. When he was here, got called up to San Antonio, got called up to Portland. And he was a guy who would score. He'd stand in front of the net, and he would fight literally anybody when he was out there on the ice. For a big dude, he had pretty soft hands. Yeah. Howie, I'll look for my check in the mail on that one. And he was one of the guys who was out there in community all the time to getting the Mallards name out there, getting his name out there. Just a hell of a guy. And yeah, he's easily number 5 on the list.
Well, it's funny because I had no clue until he had mentioned it. I went back and looked at it. I had no clue his fight with Mel Engelstad. I think Mel was with Thunder Bay at the time. I didn't know clue that was on YouTube. Excuse me. But yeah, dude, Howie Rosenblatt, very tough dude. He's one of the first Mallards I actually remember watching. when I was young. I had to have been no older than like 3 or 4 years old watching Rosenblatt at the time. And I like from all accounts of like my aunt and uncle, anytime I'd see him, I would just go like Howie, almost like fucking what's that damn show, Big Bang Theory, Howard, Howie, all that fucking bullshit. But yeah, from all accounts, great dude and tremendous podcast guest. For those who haven't listened to it, I encourage you to go back and check out my interview with Howie Rosenblatt. I forget what number episode it is, but it was probably like in the last 5 or 6 episodes. If you just go back in the back catalog and check it out. But tremendous guest, awesome story. I'd love to get him back on. I was just telling Jay before I hit record again, if it was on a damn school night, as they say, I would have gotten just probably wrecked with him on the fucking podcast, but I had to go to work the next day.
Well, you got Howie out there in his garage or his shed, drinking what, Crown Royal Reserve.
Crown Reserve, smoking a fucking cigar.
A cigar the size of a baseball bat out there. And then he tells a story about having breakfast with Link Gates.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to say he fought Link.
I think when he was in Madison?
Yep, he fought Link when he was in Madison. God, those jerseys were sharp.
I want to get a Madison jersey.
And what's, Howie, I thought he was going to, he retired after he played here and then ended up playing a few games for the New Haven Knights. After he played here, I want to say he played what? 12 games. God, I'd kill 2 people I didn't know for one of those Howie Rosenblatt New Haven Knights jerseys. God, those were sick.
Oh yeah, I would do anything for just a Rosenblatt Mallards jersey too. I wonder, do you know of anybody who has it?
I got a feeling there's a guy over in Davenport just moved that might have one in his closet. I don't have the exact address, but Corey, we might leave the house after we're done with this and track you down and take it from you.
If it's Corey, then all bets are off. I've talked with Corey before. He just, sold it. He got his trasher's payday like myself, so, he's got a little jangle in his pocket. Well, hopefully he didn't spend it all on the fucking, booze cruise out there in the Midwest, but... Corey, hopefully he's listening, but we're going to come over there. We're going to steal the fucking Rosenblatt sweater from you.
Oh, fucking Corey, he's probably going to listen to fucking 311 and Cabo San Lucas or something.
What's wrong with 311?
This is not a music podcast. I can't begin to tell you what's right with 311. All right, this is going to take a right turn real quick, but because we went there, Corey, hell of a nice guy, he's like, hey, why don't you and your wife come with me to see 311 at whatever, that was a good one, whatever island in Chicago went to see. And Corey and my wife loved the show, and my fat ass is there sitting on the handicap riser drinking $15 beers, listening to this horrible, horrible band. And all I could do was curse his name and think how I'm going to steal his goulash game worn jerseys. As a matter of fact, he has a Kerry Toporowski Millennium Mallards jersey. Yes, sir.
That motherfucker. I had a Toporowski Vegas one and I sold it, and that's when I regret, and I forget exactly what I got, and I shouldn't say got in return, but what that money went towards. But that's when I do regret selling. The thing that made me sell it was it didn't have a lot of wear. Yep. It did not have a lot of wear, so I was like, I can get rid of it, I guess.
And if it had been the second logo for the Vegas Thunder with the bear with the
polar bear, whatever,
the Thunderbolts, yeah. I would have driven down to Florida and giving you the cash myself. God, I love those jerseys. There was a was it Trevor Roenick? There was a Trevor Roenick one for sale for the longest time, and it was like the god awful teal color. Oh yeah. With like the black accents, but son of a bitch, I
love those Thunder jerseys.
Oh, I do too.
You know what? It was and I know John from the old Hockey Fight League is listening. I know he's not on Twitter anymore, but He'd always say how much he loves mesh jerseys. I'm like, why the fuck do you like mesh jerseys so much? I saw the fucking Thunder jersey in person, and I was like, God damn it, he was right. Those mesh jerseys are sharp. I love those old Bauer IHL mesh jerseys. They are just tremendous.
And his boy Darren Skio is still in the ECHL. Isn't he with Allen, I want to say?
Yes, he's with Allen. He's a tough motherfucker. He got in a really good fight the other night against, Sean. Fuck, who was it? It was Sean somebody. I can't remember off the top of my head. Real good ECHL fan I am. You turned around real quick. I thought we had another fight. Yeah, we're about to have another fucking fight commentary going on here. But yeah, no, Skio is a really tough dude out there with Allen. One of the bigger names in the ECHL as far as tough guys go. He went to I think it was like the Anaheim Ducks camp at one point. I know John has that jersey, so that's a really sweet jersey. But yeah, Skio's a tough dude for sure.
Yeah, and John's got the they wore like Don Cherry jerseys once. He's got that jersey framed up.
Yep.
Vancouver Giants, and that was a dude he's not an SPHL level guy, but I was selfishly hoping he'd find his way down to this league so I could at least see him a few times before he got the call back up again. Yeah, that kid's got a future in this league.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. I look forward to seeing wherever he goes in the ECHL. Hopefully, by some off chance, he ends up in Florida next year. Because as much as I love Kyle Neuber, I don't know how long he's got in the league because he's just getting up there in age. He's older and his body's got a lot. If you actually go back and look at his fight card, especially even just I think it was the Vancouver Canucks rookie camp or whatever. Fuck, he had like 5 fights in just like 2 days or whatever. Like, it's just insane.
I saw a picture of him online not too long ago, and I felt bad for this guy because he was standing next to this guy. What it looked like was kind of like the prototypical Florida man.
I was gonna say like an extra on Magnum PI because he was handsome enough he could have been an extra.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm kind of thinking he was like the understudy to the Sasquatch video from the 70s.
For skunk ape down in Florida, sir.
But he had the Hawaiian shirt rocking, and I thought, what, like Neuber, just blink twice. If you're fucking trapped, you need help out of here. This guy's got his hand on your back, looks like the small of the back, maybe the top of the ass. Like, I feel so bad for that dude.
Hopefully we can get that motherfucker on the podcast. I'd love to have Kyle Neuber on. I've got his number, folks, but no guarantees, of course, because he's still playing in the season. If anything, hopefully I can get him in the off season, but we'll see how it goes.
Now make sure you text that number beforehand so it's not like Bob's Muffler Shop.
Yeah. Joe's Whorehouse, you got the hoe, we got the dough. Or you got the dough, we got the hoe. Fucking hey, we're over here too many fucking beers deep now. What are we at? Number 4? Number 4. Who do we got for number 4?
Number 4 is a guy who I'm sure anybody on your podcast is familiar with his name. He was a guest on Fourth Line Voice podcast. Was Mr. Steve McIntyre. When he was here, his nickname was, Big Show. His nickname was Diesel. Absolute monster of a guy. Started his career in the UHL. Well, he played juniors in Saskatoon, so that weirdo up in whatever suburb he lives in now.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, moving to the fucking High Dollar Heights suburbs.
Yeah, fucking big city, man. He probably gets the other local kids to shovel his driveway now, too, that fucking asshole.
Yeah, here's $10, shovel my driveway, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, technically, didn't he start his career out in the Quebec League?
Yes, sir.
With Sorel?
Well, he played for Muskegon in the United League first.
That's right, he did. He
played a handful of games in regular season.
That's when he fought Melnichuk.
Yep.
Out there.
Oh, my God. A meat grinder. That's a guy who, if we were doing a UHL list, it'd be hard-pressed not to put him as number 1, but meat grinder and McIntyre was an amazing fight.
Yeah.
And it's on the YouTubes, and I don't want to mention who probably has it up there. Well, yeah, that was a hell of a scrap. But when he was here, he would fight absolutely everybody, but he wouldn't just fight guys; he would destroy guys in this league.
Yeah.
When he was here, he was only here for the 1 year. He left the team. A guy named Tim Taylor, who ran the team at the time, called him and said, come back. It's gonna be better for your career if you come back. And what was crazy, that was the last time he played at the UHL quote unquote AA level until the end of his career when he spent some time in Utah and then played here and there for the Federal League for Carolina.
Which he still does every once in a while. He'll still play for the Federal League today.
Yep.
It was just a year ago. He fought tough motherfucker. And I listen to the podcast, Nick. I got to give you all the fucking credit in the world
for
Squash Daddy for even trying to go with Big Mac, dude. Insane.
Yeah, that's that dude's got a set bigger than both of us.
He's like Randy Marsh in South Park, where he's got to carry his balls in the wheelbarrow wherever he goes, and the fucking I think it was the medical marijuana episode or whatever.
Like microwave balls.
Yeah. You fucking Nick Wright he's got a wheelbarrow them suckers around for even trying to fight fucking Big Mac.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't care if I'm standing on your shoulders, chicken fight that motherfucker. There's no way. But yeah, when he was in this league, there was nobody who could even touch him. because that was right before he got to his peak, and he was just destroying guys. The only, even in this league, the only thing was I think he might have been a little too nice for this league.
Right.
Or for the it was the UHL at the time, but man, he was just wrecking guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and of course everybody knows his NHL career, and which is surprising actually. I think he's got more fights in the AHL than anything. What, you got a piss again?
Well, yeah, probably.
Through the magic of editing, we got the bladder of a little girl over here. We will pause for 1 second, take a piss break, and come right back. All right, and back here through the magic of editing after a lovely piss break, beer run, and got the lovely Copenhagen Wintergreen in now. What number are we on? We on 3?
We're on 3, but what's funny is, so one of the honorable mentions we'll get to later on, John the Hammer Tremblay, he actually fought McIntyre in the AHL, and goddamn, that was a hell of a scrap. It was kind of cool seeing, two guys who used to play in Quad City just absolutely going at it, center ice. McIntyre played for the P Bruins at the time, Providence Bruins at the time, and the Hammer was with Worcester, the Sharks at the time. Fucking, the logo was a shark with a monocle.
I know. I was thinking, because in my head I was thinking the old, because for the longest time they used the old Sharks logo.
Yeah.
But I know exactly which one you're talking about.
So back in the day, the Cleveland Barons, who had the Pringles, kind of Mr. Peanut looking guy with the top hat and the monocle.
Yeah.
And they're affiliated. Affiliations kind of fuck around, but Worcester kind of stole the logo, threw on the shark with a monocle, fucking tuxedo coat, tails. But man, seeing the Hammer and Diesel go at it, center ice in the AHL was pretty fucking cool for a guy who saw him, playing both here in Quad City.
Yeah, for sure, man. And what a great career that Steve McIntyre had, and had those great fights with Bugard when Bugard was at New York, and fought Goddard a couple times, I think, and what a great career. I'm very happy to say I have a Mallards warm-up of Steve McIntyre, at least. Better than nothing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that thing, I'm not a small guy. I'm sitting at about 6'1", 265, 270-ish, and that thing is a dress on me.
Yeah, you mentioned what Eric Goddard, goddamn, I wish you hadn't mentioned that. Hand to God. So, the Mallards made way to the Quad City Flames of the AHL for 2 seasons. Before the Flames came here, they were the the Omaha Aksarben Knights of the AHL.
I don't remember that at all. That had to have been like a one-season wonder.
I think they played in Nebraska for 2 years.
Gotcha.
The logo was like the Calgary C with the flames behind it with a knight head. Sick jersey. But for the 2 years before they came here, the hand of God, Eric Goddard, played in Omaha. And the year that the Flames moved their AHL team to here, he got called up and played for Calgary. God, I was pissed off. Didn't get to see Eric Goddard here at all.
Well, you still got to see Vandermeer, though, right?
Oh, Vandermeer.
It was Pistol, correct?
Yeah. Pistol Pete was here the second year. First year there was Prost was here. Brandon Prost was here. That was back when the AHL was. Goddamn, that was a lot of fun.
Tough. That was the jungle. Well, getting out of the jungle a little bit, but it still had its heavies going around.
Yep, there was. And the Flames, they were not a good team, but goddamn, they were fun. The first year, Prost. I should have probably printed off my 11 pages of notes. Probably should have printed off some Flames notes. but Prost had a hell of a lot of fights.
To be honest, I completely forgot the fucking Flames even existed.
Yep.
They were here for
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. That was it.
And then the Calgary's like, fuck this, we're moving the team to
Abbotsford, right?
Abbotsford, some little island off BC.
I don't even think they're a team anymore.
Nope. They moved. They went from Omaha for 2 years, Quad City for 2 years, 3 years in Abbotsford. Then they went to Adirondack for 2 or 3 years, and then they went to Stockton, where they are now.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so Quad City's always had some good toughness. I almost forgot Pistol played here. When former guest of the podcast, you can go back and check that out. Also on Darren's podcast, if you want to go get a fourth line voice bump in there too. Fucking asshole! You better put our check in the fucking mail.
Fucking hey, we've given this guy more airtime than he's gotten in like four podcasts.
Blowout as soon as he goes over one fucking speed bump.
Yeah, no shit. His head's probably bigger than my fucking head, and I got a giant dome right now. But what we're on
number 3.
Oh, see, you said the 10 toughest Mallards of all time, and it's not easy.
No, like I said, they've had a rich history of toughness.
They have we have 3A and 3B. We'll go with 3B first. A guest. God damn it. Got to mention him again. Darren Fothline Voice had him on there. Jason Goulet is 3B. He only played 1 year here. And it was the IHL 2 at the time.
By the way, folks, talk about minor league marketing. I remember when they came out that logo. It was the summer. I was here for that summer when they announced that the team was coming back as the Mallards, and it was like the lime green, orange, and white, and their motto was "Quack to the future."
So when they announced the team was coming back, the owner, I do not know why I remember this. I cannot remember, what happened. I had for lunch yesterday, but the owner of the team was Chris Lencheski. And yeah, the slogan was "Quack to the future." So they had the press conference at the Mark at the time, and the fucking DeLorean from Back to the Future comes out, fucking smoke rolling.
Oh, naturally.
I'm like, oh shit, this I'm way into this because minor league hockey, that's where it's at.
Oh yeah.
And the more sideshow, the more circus shit, I'm into it.
Well, that's what I'm the same way. I love and I know Darren has said it. When it comes to minor pro hockey, anything goes. I don't give a fuck. I'm all for it, but you show me the storm surge with the fucking Carolina Hurricanes, and I want that beat to the fucking ground in a second. I can't stand it. To be honest, though, with the storm surge, if that happened in even minor pro hockey, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Yeah, come on now.
Well, they did that a few times. It's the Quad City Storm here. They did it a few times here. They're like, yeah, this can't happen anymore.
No. Like I said, I always go to the old meme with the goalie from Slapshot. Trade me right fucking now.
Right fucking now.
Exactly.
Sorry. Well, okay. Well, let's get back on track here, Mr. Jason Goulet, Mr. No Name Hockey. So when he was here, they were in the IHL. Played 1 year here, and the 1 year he played here was probably the most dominant I have ever seen a guy one season in minor pro hockey. He had upwards of 25, 26 fights. And I can honestly say, no homer, he did not lose a fight that year by any stretch. And he was fighting the toughest guys in the league at the time. Justin Sawyer, who I'm sure anybody listening to your show knows who Justin Sawyer is. He fought Justin Sawyer 4, 5, 6 times. A couple of them, there's on my YouTube channel, which is, what's my YouTube channel? D-Skunk.
What are you asking me?
I'm like 15 beers deep at this point.
He's got the Leaning Tower of Busch lattes over here.
Plus the delicious alcohol that you brought to get my pants off.
Peak Reserve, no fucking, you go check it out. If you're in the Tampa Bay area and you need renovations on your apartments, let me know.
Bottle 62 of 100.
Yeah.
There's one, he landed 27, 28 shots to Sawyer. Oh. Sawyer might land a 1 or 2. And he fought some monsters that year. He fought Raman Gomez, a dub guy, pretty legit guy. He fought Derek Parker, who I'm sure anybody knows.
Fuck, he's still fighting now.
Yeah, fucking Derek Parker. I love that dude. He's in my shape, which is much more round than normal, and he's fighting in the LAH now. But Parker was with the Generals at the time, and Goulet dropped him 2 punches, fucking picked him back up with one hand, fucking landed 2 more and dropped him and fucking walked off.
Oof.
It was just a fucking monster shot. He fought a cat named Brad McMillan, who was tough as they come. What was crazy is, I've never seen a guy fight that many times and not lose a fight.
Yeah. So there you go. Jason Goulet was that 3A or 3B?
Fucking A.
Whatever one. It don't matter at this point.
3B.
So 3B.
Yep, 3B, and another shout out. He owns No Name Hockey. You want a hockey stick?
There you go.
No Name Hockey. Google it. Great hats, great sweatshirts. He didn't pay me for this. He probably should. Great dude, but we'll go with 3A was a Fight for Fighting guest. His number is retired in Quad City.
Oh, okay.
Was Mr. Mark McFarland.
Mark McFarland. Yeah, that was the early days of the podcast. I had that. I remember, man, that interview, I was hurting because we had just moved into our apartment. We hadn't had the guest room set up. I'm sitting on the floor like a fucking like a hobo, just sitting there doing this interview. My back by the end of it, like I had to like get a pillow in there and like put my back on the wall. Oh, it was just terrible. But I think the interview was great. Mac was an awesome guest.
He played 6 years here in Quad City. Essentially retired out of here. He played just a handful of games for Topeka in the Central League a few years after he played here.
By the way, great name, Topeka Tarantulas.
I have his Topeka Tarantulas jersey, as a matter of fact.
Tremendous.
Oh, it's a fantastic. It's ugly as shit, but goddamn, it's awesome. The spider takes up. It's the regular size logo plus like 50%.
Yeah.
But he was a guy. He could play. He played in power play, played penalty kill, put up some decent numbers, and he would get his penalty minute numbers all game long. He would fucking fight anybody. So there was a guy who probably could have made this list for the Mallards named Kevin Kerr, famous minor league hockey guy.
Of course.
Kevin Kerr, McFarland bit him during a playoff game on the hand.
It was like an actual bite too, because to get a biting penalty back then, you got to do something serious. You got to actually see it, not like this Brendan Lemieux shit that just happened.
Damn near ripped the guy's finger off. But what's funny is they actually handed out, like, it was probably say 18 by 10 poster boards of a shark fin the next game. They called him Mark the Shark.
Oh my god, dude.
But what's insane is not only did he bite somebody, but before that, there was a player for the Muskegon Fury named Corey Banica who bit Mark McFarland on the finger.
Right.
And I don't know that he even got suspended for the fact, back in the United League, fucking bite somebody, stab them, who cares?
Right.
But he was a dude who, I would be remiss to say, when his number was retired, he was standing there at the podium. He could probably suit up and play, 2-3 shifts even back then.
Yeah. No, Mark McFarland's absolute awesome dude, and like I said, I encourage you to go check out the back catalog of the podcast and get him. Give us 1 second, one more stoppage here. Jay's got to take a call real quick. We'll make it happen through the power of editing, folks. Real professional podcast we're running here, but it's all part of the shit show. All right, I'm right back like we never left. We got the last two. We'll wrap it up here. Well, before we get to number one as well, we'll do a couple honorable mentions because I know that's on here. But number 2 all time for the Mallards Tough Guys, who do you got?
Number 2, I don't think you can tell the history of Quad City hockey without mentioning Jacques the Mailman Mayotte.
Legendary minor pro tough guy. Also former guest of the Five for Fighting podcast. If you want to go back and check out that episode, you can.
Almost former guest of Five for Fighting podcast.
Gotta throw it in like one of those fucking like those infomercials, Just calling out pay separate processing and handling.
Okay, so, as a kid, I was 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there when the Mallards first came here. He was here for the first season. And for a kid who had never seen a hockey game in person, seeing Jacques Mayotte in person in your first hockey game, just drop a dude with a fucking massive right hand was the coolest shit ever. Got me into hockey. I remember they had a meet the team thing at a Hardee's, Carl's Jr. on the West Coast, fast food place. Come meet the team. They had everybody lined up, and I shook Jacques' hand, and 13, 14-year-old me remembers the guy's hand was the size of a canned ham. Like, it was fucking enormous. He was, he had an incredible bout with Mad Mel Engelstad here at the Mark.
I think that's on YouTube, correct?
Yep, I'm not going to mention the name of the guy who has it. That's been enough. He fought Bruce Ramsey.
Yep.
Fucking rammer it was a hell of a battle. And I know Searson loves this story. I got to tell it. So the Mallards had an alumni night here, 1 or 2 years before they folded. Mayotte came up here. They had an alumni game. Fucking Mayotte was wearing the the Pit Viper style visor.
The old OV World Junior fucking thing where you get the mirrored visor straight out of create a player.
But it was like 15 different colors. Had a fucking the GoPro on his helmet. But they had a reception after the game, And seriously, I'm only telling this for you. So my wife was talking to him. He said, "Do you know who I am?" And she said, "No." He goes, "Well, let me see your phone." And he fucking Googles his name on my wife's phone and said, "Yeah, this is me." Like, you son of a bitch, you're trying to wheel my wife. If he was 20, 25 years younger, maybe I would have to look out for him. But you cannot tell Quad City hockey history without the mailman involved.
Oh, well, the mailman was just trying to deliver at the little banquet, you know? It just happens.
So, the Mallards made the playoffs their first year, and they played the Flint Generals in the first series. They got swept out, best of 5. Best of 5. They got swept out in 3 games. So the first 2 games were in Flint, and the third game was here in Quad City. And I will never forget at center ice that everybody was kind of milling about. It wasn't even a scrum. But fucking Mayotte drops his right glove, and then fucking Cole cocks 3 Flint Generals at center ice. Just at a random stoppage of play. And like, yeah, hockey's probably the game for me.
Yeah.
But in 3 playoff games, he had 52 PIM in 3 playoff games that year. And he wanted to, from my understanding, he wanted to come back here, but the new GM traded his rights away, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not coming back."
What a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jacques Mayotte, legendary minor pro tough guy. Of course, he had a couple games up there with the Nordiques, but when you talk minor pro hockey tough guys, I feel like you can't leave out Mayotte no matter what leagues you're talking. No. Absolutely legendary dude.
And he to me, he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of minor league hockey players.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a solid fucking.
Because if it's Colonial League, if it's the fucking Whipple,
yep.
West Coast League, IHL, no matter where it is, he's on there.
Fuck, he fought security out in the Whipple. He was like got off the ice and was fighting fans and security and shit. Just peak minor pro hockey.
Well, shit, he fought one of his teammates over a fucking video game in a hotel room.
That's right, he did. Definitely got to give it up to the mailman there at number 2. Before we get to number 1, you said you had a couple honorable mentions. I know it was hard to make this list, but who do you got for some honorable mentions here?
Oh, you know what? You told me top 10 tough guys, and I thought, all right, top 10, that shouldn't be too hard. But I got to looking and got to remembering a bunch, and it was hard.
Yeah.
And there was easily, if you did top 20, I could have done a top 20 list. You know, I'll run through a few names of guys that I thought were impactful at some point. There was a cat named Yannick Renault.
Yep.
Hell of a tough guy. He got the shaft here in Quad City, traded down to Knoxville. He would fight anybody. There was a guy named Cam Severson who ended up playing for the Ducks in the NHL, which was pretty fucking cool. A guy, another fourth line voice. Wait. You're gonna hit me now.
No, we're about to fucking.
You're gonna hit me now because it wasn't a fourth line voice. It was Fight for Fighting podcast guest.
Who are we talking here?
Rob Volterra.
Oh, you motherfucker! Yep, Rob Volterra.
Rob Volterra, who had the largest repair of any jersey I ever owned. It was like fucking 8 inches from the side to the middle, and then 8 inches up. Giant L repair. Rockford Ice Hogs jersey in my collection.
Beautiful jersey, by the way, which is the one where he beat the fucking doors off of a suit.
Yeah, it was some cat from Missouri. I don't remember who it was, but he laid the beats for that kid. It broke his hand in that fight, I want to say.
I think so too.
Brad Essex, who was here.
Brad Essex, yep.
There was a dude who was here for just a short amount of time, traded from Adirondack. Undersized guy, incredible defenseman, and would fucking fight anybody. He fought David Ambler here. That was an absolute barn burner. John the Hammer Tremblay, who come out of the Q, had a huge rep. Nobody would fight him here. He fought a dude named Chad Wilcox in Flint. Wilcox didn't realize he was a lefty and got dropped with like 7 or 8 lefts in probably about 2 seconds. Cat named Cody Doucette, who ended up played for Quad City, played for Richmond in this league, had a pretty solid career in the LNAH. Mark Recklich, who a lot of people don't really realize that famous minor league tough guy Joel Recklich.
Yep.
His brother Mark was actually in Quad City, played a few years of minors. He was here the same year Jason Goulet was in Quad City, which having that 1-2 combo, they pretty much run the show in the league that year.
Yeah.
There was a cat named who a lot of people might know him, Most people won't. His name was O.J. Hare, the bringer of violence.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
I want to say he was like 6'5", 6'6", pushing the weight at 280. The local newspaper asked what you brought to the team, and he said, I bring violence. What's funny is he wore one jersey when he was here, the black Quad City alternate style. I had his jersey probably 10 years. Yeah. Out of the blue, somebody sends me a message on YouTube. I'm like, I don't get a message on YouTube.
Right. And
it ends up being OJ's best friend. He said, OJ's having a little tough time. What do you want for the jersey? I'm like, this is what I spent for the jersey. I'll buy it. Here's an extra, overnight it to Calgary.
Oh, shit.
So I overnighted to Calgary, and he sends me the picture the next day of OJ in his jersey from Quad City with the fucking Dukes up. It was crazy. Everybody knows, former Five for Fighting guest.
So you got it right this time.
Oh, yeah.
Put some respect on it, damn it.
Put some respect on that name. The real deal, Mike Segroy, played here for a little bit. I want to say it was only like 6-7 games. That was the guy who played more time here. I'm sure he would have made the list.
But he was still able to make the Mallards muscle poster.
He was.
It was Goo, McFarland, Segroy, and Topper, correct?
And a guy named Freddie Joban, who was tough as nails defenseman. There was a guy who played here, had a good run in the LAH. I know he played for CRS Express. Played minors for a little year. You know, he's no longer with us, but his name was Tyler Lawson.
Fuck, Tyler Lawson was tough, dude.
Oh my God, he was ridiculous. He played just a handful of games here in Quad City. I got a story I'll tell you off the air regarding him. But yeah, he was incredibly tough. And then there's a couple of modern guys who made the list. A guy named Paxton LaRue played here in the ECHL. Ended up playing pro lacrosse for a little while. And man, there was a fight with him and, again, bringing back the name Eric Lizon. Yep. Hell of a fight between him and Lizon. There's a hell of a fight between him and, I cannot remember his name. Again, the Bush Latte's hitting me in the head.
The Leaning Tower of Bush.
Yeah.
Well, Jay's got his horn going here.
There's still another beer and a half in there. And then the last honorable mention will go to a guy named Jack Nevins.
Yep.
He played here straight out of juniors. Hell of a tough guy. I know he went to Greenville for a little while, played for the Swamp Rabbits. Shout out to Ed Hubbard down there. A damn good scrap with him and number 8 on the list, Anthony Collins.
Yep.
On YouTube. And he was tough as fucking nails. And that's like 22 names so far.
Yeah, there you go. So that's all the honorable mentions there?
Yep, that's the honorable mentions.
All right, so number 1, if you don't know Quad City hockey, you probably don't know who it is, but I have a feeling I know exactly who it is. So number 1,
he was the first jersey retired in Quad City hockey history. Is none other than both junior and minor league hockey legend Gary Toporowski.
And how can it not be? I mean, dude set the record in the Western Pro League. Fuck, no, how many fucking Busch Lights have I had? The Western Hockey League with 505 penalty minutes in a single season, which, by the way, doesn't include 10-minute majors and misconducts. So I think when tough guy numbers added it up, he had almost up to like 700 PIMs.
See, I thought it was between the regular season, the playoffs, and the Memorial Cup. It was damn near 1,000.
It was ridiculous. The Memorial Cup, for those listening, you should go. They're playing Chicoutimi. So he gets a guy down, and Topper actually, it was because I think Bob McKenzie was doing the commentary, and he's sitting there, and Topper actually wasn't doing anything. There was kind of a brawl going on, and he's like, "Well, there you go. There's Topper, the guy you'd think who would be right in the middle of all this. You know, he's just kind of standing to the side." Some dude from Chicoutimi goes up to him and tries to challenge Topper. So Topper obliges him, beats the doors off this dude, gets him down to the ice, and mind you, with Toporowski, the code is right out the fucking door. Never heard of it. And Topper's sitting there throwing bows at this dude, just straight elbowing the guy in the back of the head, and then proceeds to take his chain off of him and throw it into the bench at the trainer on the Spokane Chiefs bench after beating the doors off him. So not only did he beat the fuck out of the guy, he robbed his ass too and threw the chain on the bench.
What's funny is that is not the only time he did that.
That's what I've heard.
He fought, I know at least one other time, he fought Dean the Machine Mayrand when Mayrand was with Muskegon.
Yeah.
And he was wearing the fucking puka shell necklace. Mayrand
God.
was. And they had a scrap.
And just so you know, I know Dino's listening to this too, because Dino listens to the show.
Dean, fucking love you, man, but you know as well as I do that fucking Topper snatched that puka shell necklace off your neck and tossed it into the Mallards bench.
You love to see it. And Topper was just fight. Not only was he a great fighter, but as far as enforcing goes, I'd put him up there as all time. And if you do a list combined with the NHL, like a top 20 list combined with the NHL and minor pro guys, you'd have to put. I feel like you'd have to put Toporowski in there. He was one of the meanest motherfuckers you would ever meet. And I forget who it was. And I apologize, the name was escaping me, but it was on Darren's pod. I think Steve Adams, I think, is who it was. Was sitting there.
When Topper was with Birmingham.
Yep. And so he goes up to Topper and said, the typical kind of like rookie, like, I'd love to fight you. You're great. And Topper goes, oh, really, huh? Are you hungry? And before Steve Adams, this is from him, Adams himself, he's like, what? Before he could even answer that, Topper shoves his stick in Steve Adams' mouth and yanks it out.
I got the numbers right here.
Yep.
Topper played 21 games in Binghamton that year at 101 PIM.
Jesus.
So damn near 5 PIM a game. But what a lot of people don't realize about him is he was a pretty solid player too.
Yeah, he was a solid defenseman.
I mean, when he was here in Quad City, he would play a regular shift, probably second line defenseman, and he'd also, he'd play every single shift on penalty kill too.
Yeah.
So he was not just a fucking goon.
Right.
Like he would get his minutes every game too.
Oh yeah, no, and I love it. Of course, the other two opposing teams, he's a goon because I have it in the intro, and I'm sure you've listened to it. But let's call it like it is. Toporowski's a goon.
Like I said, I got the numbers in front of me.
Yeah.
An example: 2000-2001 season. He had 17 points in 63 games.
That's not bad for a defenseman.
Right, and 413 PIM. So when Topper retired, they actually hosted a roast for him here in Quad City. And there was a story come out where there was a player for the Muskegon Fury who I was a huge fan of. He epitomized the UHL, but his name was Robin Bouchard.
Yep.
And evidently right before the start of the game, Topper put a bunch of icy hot on his glove, on his palm, and Topper would always give the face wash to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So in the first shift of the game, Topper gave Bouchard a face wash with a palm full of fucking icy hot right in the fucking face, right in the eyes. And you're not going to hear about that in any other league.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. And I think McFarland even said he would do that too. I brought up Topper, and he was like, hey, he's just crazy. And which is funny now because everybody looks at these tough guys, they're goons, they're idiots.
Tom Wilson's so mean.
Yeah, well, not only that. Well, yeah, no, fuck, if they saw what Toporowski did, they'd fucking shit themselves. But, you see, they're dummies, they're idiots, blah, blah, blah. What does Toporowski do now in the Quad City area?
Yeah, Toporowski still lives around here, and he is a very highly respected, financial analyst.
Yep.
And, financial supporter. And what's crazy is Toporowski's kids are both, they're still involved in hockey.
Yep.
His son Jake is actually an assistant coach here in Quad City for the Storm in the SPHL.
I think Luke is still playing with Spokane.
He
right
is.
Now.
His son Luke.
His final year with Spokane.
Yep. And he was he weighed Detroit's main camp this year.
Yep.
As an overager from the WHL. And it's, people say, oh, you're a dummy. You got guys trusting, 7-8 digits to him. He's not a dummy.
Yeah, if that makes me a dummy, I'll be dumb all fucking day.
Yeah, no,
you call me stupid and do that, I'll do it all fucking day.
But what's funny is I remember we were in Muskegon for a playoff series, and the Mallards, they eliminated the Fury, and Topper refused to shake Robin Bouchard's hand, and Bouchard damn near started a brawl in the handshake line of a playoff series. Goddamn, that's hockey right there.
Oh yeah, with Toporowski and Quad City Mallards, that just goes hand in hand. And like you said, the first Mallard to have his jersey retired, which I wouldn't have it any other way. Having a tough guy with his number retired first, that's just fucking awesome.
Well, that gives you a little hint into what Quad City hockey is. When it was Kerry Toporowski and Mark McFarland were the first two guys to have their jerseys hung up at the Mark of the Quad Cities.
Absolutely, man. Well, fuck, Jay, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for your hospitality. We got the Leaning Tower of Busch lattes going on. You were kind enough to, wine and dine me with a steak before we got going, and it's always a pleasure. So I can't thank you enough for having me over at your house here.
Alec, I appreciate you coming up. Means the world to me that you take the time out from your vacation up here, come over, hang out for a few hours. It's pretty fucking cool. You visited us not too long, a couple of years ago.
2 years.
But spending the time up here, it means a lot to me. And I'll take a minute. You and Darren and Dr. Chris and John and Jason and
Give him the Lizino.
yeah, and Joe. It's awesome. We got a little community here.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody knows we talk shit to each other all the time. But it's great that, we're pretty solid folks around here.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you again for coming on. And, folks, for everybody who listened, I appreciate you taking the time to enjoy us. And, hopefully you cracked a couple beers with us and took the time to listen to the top 10 Mallards tough guys of all time. Thank you again for tuning into the Five for Fighting podcast, presented to you by Six Pack Coverage. Hope everybody has a great night, and if you're listening to this on your way to work, hope you have a great morning, and happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Thank you, everybody so much for tuning in. Have a good one.